Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you cover education, analysis, and opportunities in crypto and blockchain. My name is Lucas.
And my name is Ryan.
And of course, blockchain and cryptocurrency is connected and woven into all markets, especially the stock and the financial and the currency markets, and the interest rates and all that good stuff. And we have important economic data to bring to your attention. Why don't you talk a little bit more about this? You found this article, Ryan?
Yeah, so there was an important report released today, a jobs report, and it for September, and the expectation was that the month of September would see a 500,000 so jobs increased, and then this report came out, and the number was way less at 194,000 for September. So the result was, shows that the recovery is weaker than expected, and way weaker than expected, and that the labor market is weaker than it's shifting in a weaker way. So the stock market corrected, bonds fell, and the interest rates rose on the yields on interest rate on bonds rose, and gold fell. And so there's overall just kind of pessimism. But then as the day wore on, the broad indexes recovered, the S&P and the Dow, and the NASDAQ recovered and kind of closed neutral for the day. And I guess, one of the things to continue to think about is that this is going to mean that the easy money policy of the Fed is going to continue for some time, right? So even though there's bad news as far as the economy's recovery from the pandemic, and you're seeing, stories about about inflation and about supply chain issues and shortages, and now we're seeing the labor markets not as strong as we thought. So all this adds up to mean that the recovery is weaker than expected, and the Fed can't taper as they were hinting they may try to before the end of the year. So that's very bullish. So for stocks and financial assets in general, and I would say crypto, because as the Fed keeps the money supply, the money printer going, the prices of everything tend to go up, right? And financial assets are included in that. So yeah, I think that kind of explains why there was a buy the dip mentality as the day wore on, and why you saw the stock market kind of recover some of those losses.
And this kind of goes, there's a connection between a video we just recently did about the shortages and the supply and labor shortages. We're really seeing the market economy take a hit. Like right here, we're seeing the jobs are a lot less than they thought they would be. However, even though the job sector is taking a hit, as you pointed out, this puts the Fed in a position where they really need to continue with the easy money, because right now the market's too fragile, and if they were to raise interest rates right now, that would create a lot more job losses. It would create a lot more
Right.
problems in the market. So here we're seeing that even though the actual economy in many areas is doing poorly and there are less jobs, we're still seeing financial sector and other areas of the economy gaining wealth, during this time. And I would say, like we talk about cryptocurrency and blockchain being a technology where there's a major transfer of generational wealth taking place into this new technology. That's why we don't look for trading. This is not financial advice. We are really look to teach and to learn and to educate about the technology and its role in the future. We see this as being around for years and years to come. So these are definitely macro plays. And from
Right.
that perspective, this is pretty bullish news, like you said, for crypto, because as they have the easy money era continues, that means the stronger digital asset counter continues.
The value proposition continues. Yeah.
Hmm.
I heard somebody joking about it on the internet earlier about how ironic it was that as the governments around the world debase their currency and run up a bunch of debts and inflate away, do the very thing that the libertarian free market limited government people have been complaining about, they inadvertently end up enriching that community through the cryptocurrency system, through that new financial world, right? And because it's disproportionately populated by, people with a kind of a freer agenda when it comes to money. I just thought so that's kind of hilarious.
I like it. No complaints.
Yep. Nope, not at all.
There was a quote in this article that you've pointed out.
Yeah, that final one at the very bottom about how that was the takeaway, is that this really delays the Fed in raising interest rates and tapering from the monthly asset purchases. But even though it is a negative thing, it's a knock on the recovery, it still has that consequence of that monetary stimulus continuing. So it's like a bad news is good news kind of perverse thing. That's what's interesting about the financial sector, is that and traditionally you would think, okay, bad news for the economy must be losses all the way around.
Right.
But for that industry, in a weird way, bad news, while in the short term there can be losses associated with it. It does, the negative news does prolong stimulus, and that does make a case for financial assets. And then that's been called the Bernanke put and the Greenspan put, in years past, this underlying support that financial assets have from easy money policies. And that continues. And it's perverse in a sense, because it's helping the very people who tend to have the most. And while the people who are adversely affected by the negative economy don't always share evenly in those gains, and there's lots of inequality and class issues that are surrounding that. But it is an interesting situation.
It's ironically, because these easy money policies have had this ability to enrich certain classes historically, ever since these mechanisms have been at play. Of course, with cryptocurrency and blockchain, we're living at a time where there's a new class of people that are able to absorb that and
play in that game. Yeah.
Right, from this easy money. And a lot of the easy money policies with this new sector, this new technology, is taking away from the previous where people would previously go to benefit from easy money policies. And right,
well, it's opening up to, it used to be the purview of a small class, and now it's opening up. It's kind of like a financial aikido or jujitsu, where they're taking the negative and making it into a positive. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is not financial advice. This is just educational information. If you like this kind of news, you want to stay up to date on the market news that will affect blockchain, cryptocurrency, just the overall world economy at large, feel free to hit the notification bell and subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate your love and support. We will drop a link to the article down below. We encourage you to do your own research. Let's see, am I missing something?
That sounds like you got all the right notes to me.
All right. Well, yeah, until the next time, have a beautiful day and namaste.